We don't have a line yet for this game. We're recording this just after midnight on Wednesday morning, right after the Oilers just defeated the Flames in a wild game in Edmonton to go up 3-1 in the series. But going off of what we saw from game 2, where the line closed Calgary -170, Edmonton +140, you'd imagine we'll probably see something close to that. I mean, we could see an adjustment like we've seen with the Rangers, because the Oilers clearly are doing something right against this Flames team, kind of negating their forechecking edge by being quick to move pucks out of the defensive zone and beating them on the rush. So I think we won't see Flames at -170 for game 5, but it can't be too far off, just judging off of what we've seen earlier in the series. I mean, it's pretty hard to look away from the Oilers as an underdog here in a closeout game on the road. This team seriously is in form. The Kings series, they looked like they came unglued a little bit, but they snapped right back into it. And it's one of those situations where, do you trust the long-term form, which we saw over those last 39, 38 games of the season when Jay Woodcroft took over for the Oilers from Dave Tippett, where they turned into a 119-point pace team under Woodcroft. So those Oilers have shown up, not really the Oilers we saw in the first round. So when you look at it that way, you say, there's really not that much separating these two teams right now.
Yeah, it should come as no surprise which way I'll be betting game 5 here. There's a couple of things for the Flames that kind of stand out to me here. Tanev is clearly not 100%, which is just an enormous loss for the Flames and how they need to defend the Oilers. He plays such a big role. And after the first period, I was making my notes on Markstrom, and I was all set to kind of speculate not only on fatigue on Markstrom, but also him carrying an injury, because he just didn't look like himself there. But credit to him, I thought he was spectacular the rest of the game. There were a lot of points in that game where I thought that the Oilers could have really put it away, but Markstrom kept them in the game. The Flames' top guys have disappeared for the most part, and we do need to give the Oilers credit for that. They've been working on their defensive game ever since Woodcroft took over, and they've settled on a strategy right now where they are content to give up shots. As many shots as Calgary wants to take, they're fine with that, but they're limiting the high danger chances, and they're trusting Smith to make that first save, as long as that first save is not coming from 200 feet out. I've been saying this ever since I fell in love with the Oilers earlier this season. They don't need outstanding goaltending to be successful. They're getting, for the most part, an average performance from Mike Smith for the most part, and that's good enough right now. He has his biggest strength right now is Calgary is a very dump and chase team. They're big on the forecheck. They get on you quickly. The problem with that is that you have a guy like Mike Smith who can basically stop the forecheck dead in their tracks with his puck handling. So I don't know how Calgary adjusts out of that. This is the way that they play. They've played all season like this, and now we're deep into the playoffs. You can't just change your game. So I think that fundamentally the Oilers have a big advantage here with the way that both teams play. And of course, the Tanev injury is just devastating. So I don't expect to see plus 150 again on the Oilers. If it's anywhere near that, of course I'll be on it. But I do think that if we get anything into the mid 130s, into the 140s, I will be on the Oilers here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, like the Rangers series, where that line goes, because you have one team that was the underdog coming into the series. Most people wouldn't argue that the Flames are the better team on paper, but the momentum, all the narratives will be pointing towards Edmonton to close it out in Calgary in the Battle of Alberta